Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria. So happy Tuesday. I just finally had a moment to sit down and I really need a moment to sit. I've been very, very busy and it's been a high volume call a couple days and errands and more to do, more to do. July, August is always a very busy time for me, and the only way I can really just take a few moments to relax is to sit and knit. And so I've been practicing a cast on that I always have had trouble doing. And it's called the Italian cast on. And it evades me because I am 3/4 Italian. I grew up in an Italian family. And my grandmothers were Italian. And my dad's mom always did this cast on. But she did it so fast. She did it so fast. So I'm still making mistakes with it. I mastered it, but then every time I go to do it again for the first time that I decide to use it, I no longer have mastered it. I don't do it. But I did pretty good this time because I found an excellent tutorial, which I'm going to link to, where it is in a slowed down version and high resolution. And not only is the person on the channel a wonderful teacher doing this tutorial, but she also shows how to go into 2-color brioche knitting with this, which is what it's perfect for because it works up naturally as a ribbing. The cast on has a ribbing kind of work. So um, you're going to use 2 strands. And the beauty of it is it's invisible. It's seamless. It's just kind of that beautiful little ruffle on the edge. And I remember the stuff she knitted, baby stuff and Afghans, they always had that ripple edge. And her slippers, I actually took her a pair of slippers she had made for me many years ago apart to see that it was an Italian cast on. So I'm going to show you a few different cast ons and take this apart real quick. My cat Dustin might want to be in the video as he sees my yarn going. So you can see there's 2 things happening here, knit, purl, or purl, purl, knit, 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 purl. You can do whatever you want with it. It's a beautiful cast on to do circularly for a hat, because imagine that on your head as a brim. It would be so comfortable, right? I can already think of a few people that their issue with hats is they get headaches around their head from brims being too tight or just too much texture. And this particular cast on is just so nothingness against you. It's beautiful. But I have a few that I'm going to show. So I'm going to show a few double stranded cast ons today, and that will help me relax a little bit. A little bit nervous, got a lot on my mind, a lot going on, a lot that I really have absolutely no control over, which is like life is. So I try to take care of the things I have to take care of, and then I'm kind of in flux waiting on everyone else for answers for things, and then I'll know. So with this particular cast on, you know what? It would make more sense for me to show you the other cast on first. So there are double-stranded cast ons where it says work with double strands, and I'm using my scrappy yarn again. So I'm going to make a slip knot and show you what a long tail cast on looks like so you can see the difference in all of these. So in each of these you would either wrap around your needle for as many stitches as you need, then pinch off and take the amount off. So let's say I want 15 stitches. I would make my slip knot, and then grab my 2 pieces of yarn and put my index finger away from me and my thumb towards me and come down and make a slingshot like this. And I would come up underneath my thumb and around the strand on my index finger and up through the thumb loop. And then I have the first 2 stitches here. The slip knot would be the first. And again, just up underneath the thumb, around the index finger, up through the thumb hole space. And that's all I'm doing. And that is the long tail. Again, under, thumb around and under the index finger strand and through that big thumb space. This is a really stable and standard, sturdy kind of cast on that's used a lot. Because what it actually does, took me forever to figure this out. I was in a knitting group and a lady told me one day, it's like I couldn't figure out why my scars weren't even from one end to the other. And she showed me. She said, when you do a long tail cast on, you are actually creating the first row of, there they are, the little V's, knit. So or garter, you're making the first row of garter, so you have a little ledge. So whatever you're knitting, when you get to the other end, you have to knit another row that the pattern, if the pattern doesn't call for that extra row, remember to knit it and then bind off. So the cool thing about this is you have a little something to hang on to. You know how the first row can be awkward in crocheting and knitting, and then once you get past it, you got a little material. I think that's what's so lovely about the long tail, but it doesn't have any bowing in it. It just kind of stretches out. So that leads me to my next cast on. And when you're estimating, you might want a little more yarn for this one. It's called the Old World German or Scandinavian. Some people in Scandinavia are claiming it's theirs. So who knows? Old World German or Scandinavian. It's set up just like the long tail. It's considered a double stranded. And this is my all-time favorite. My just favorite. You just go ahead and start the same setup. Come down in a slingshot. Instead of going underneath the thumb, we're going around the 2 strands and down through the thumb and then around the index finger, and then we're coming up through this little pyramid that's right here. It's like a little diamond shape. If you have arthritic thumbs and bumps, just don't pull too tight because you'll get tangled. So again, it's around the thumb, down through the strands on the thumb, around the index finger, and up through this little diamond space and let go. Around, down. It just reminds me of like a little skip in a dance move. It's so much fun to do. And I can remember it really easy compared to a few others. So I'll slow that down and do it again. Around the 2 strands on your thumb, down through the 2 strands on your thumb, around the strand on the index finger, and up through the space, that little diamond space, depending on which way you're looking at it, I guess. Oh wow, there's been a lot in the news. I've been trying to stay away from the Amber Heard Johnny Depp news. Or I'll get sucked in again. I will. My cat's gonna yell. You might hear him. My neighbors just woke up. They sleep most of the day and then they get up around dinner time and usually just stay up all night. Well, that sounds cuckoo, right? Okay, but there's one lady down there that works the night shift, so like maybe 3 or 4 hours at night, and so um, when she gets home, she jumps around during the day, and then she's like, "Okay, everybody, shut up and go to sleep," and they do. So it's just opposite hours. All right. So the beauty of this one is it's really thin. Look at how dainty and fine the border is and thin. And this one is used for like cuffs and the top of socks. And it does have that boinginess to it so that it has the elasticity. So when you pull up your socks, they stay. So you see it being used with socks a lot. And I've been using it for brims of hats too. So I think it's really sweet. So that'd be the difference. So that's the old world. And then we have this one that I hope I don't mess up, but if I do, keeping it real, you're going to estimate a little bit more yarn for this. Like maybe 3 more inches for each stitch, like 3 inches instead of an inch for a stitch. So I'm going to pull out about 16 inches and pinch right here. And you don't make a slip knot with this. Instead, what you do is you hold your 2 strands like this. And again, you push your thumb forward and your index finger away. And you just start like this. Right? And you take your needle and you go down. Now, I do this wrong every time. It's either down towards you or it's away from you. And you'll know once you get going. So it's either towards you or away from you. I believe it's away from you. I'm going to say it's away from you. Like down, twist this way. Okay. Because you're going to start coming this way. So that is your actual first stitch. So it's away from you. It's down, under, and towards you and then away. Then you're going to come up. There's 2 steps to, you're actually casting on 2 stitches at a time and 2 repeats. So you're coming up underneath your thumb and under your index finger strand and over and all the way under. And that is your first stitch. And if you really look at it, you can see there's a purl bump there and a knit here. Okay. Then your second, you're bringing your needle away and under the first strand and all the way under, or the far away strand there, all the way under and then up to the middle and back over. So I'll explain that better in a minute. And then again, and sometimes you can just stop and reposition your yarn if you feel like you're losing it there. So again, you're going under the strand on your thumb and the strand on your index finger and up and over and under the strand on your thumb. Then you're going over the strand on your index finger and coming right up here and coming up under here and there. I did that wrong. Did I do that wrong? No, I didn't. I did it right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And then back again. And you can kind of tell because you're always going to start with the yarn that's in the front going forward. So you're going to go under like this. If I say it, it's going to confuse you, I know, because I saying it funny. Over and around the strand on your index finger, all the way over, and then pick it up. And it makes that little bump right there. Then, under both strands on your thumb, under both strands, down on the strand on your index finger and up. Okay, then around both, down and up. Then around, down and up. You're just alternating, and what it's creating is these little, you can see them. You'll have a bump and a knit, a bump for a purl and a knit, and a bump and a knit, and a bump and a knit, and a little bump and a knit. And then to lock these off, I'll just do a few. To lock these off, you're just going to go ahead and come underneath your thumb and lock your stitches, just like that. So you should have, like you would normally lock off. That didn't, I don't think that worked right. Let me see. Do that again. Just like you would normally lock off. Just like that. So you should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It should be an even number when you get done. And then the cool thing is you could just follow along and purl your purls and knit your knits. And it's exactly what they are. They're purls and knits. They're really cool. And knit. So the one that looks like it's long, it won't really have, the cast on won't really have a V shape yet, but it will just be long, almost like a yarn over, but not that big of a space. And the one that has the little bump and wrap, you'll purl. And then there's the long one again, and you'll knit it. The long strand, and then the little bump strand. And it took me forever when I was a kid, and it still does. I have to just really slow down. If I ever had to do a whole bunch of stitches, I would have to really go slow. If I had to be stopped in between it, I would just, I don't know. I don't know if I could. I would have to try. It's a little bit of a challenge. It's fun. But it's a fun challenge. And then it has this really cool texture going on. See that? I'll do a few more. So you can see how fun it works up. It gives your yarn a whole bunch of fluffy texture. Like even if you had a thin yarn, it bumps it up. Makes it soft and pretty. I was looking at some of the blankets my grandmother had made years ago, and I kept running into that rib stitch, but then I kept running into the cast on edge, which was that ripple kind of look, but seamless. And I remember her trying to show me, and I thought, what is she doing? Because not only did she pin her yarn in more of like a Portuguese Mediterranean style of pinning her yarn to her top of her apron, So she was knitting with both hands, but she did everything so fast. That was my dad's mom. So you can see, you can follow your knits, and then you can see, you can follow your purl. You got a little bump there. So you can begin to read your work really quick and see it take shape, which is really cool. I'm so thankful for the internet because, you can really sit with something and learn. And so many generous men and women out here in the knitting and cooking community and crochet community and baking community, and how people just share what they do good. And they don't let ego get in the way at all. Everybody just appreciates everyone's tries and growing in their learning. We all have a learning curve, and nobody likes a know-it-all. But I love when you can run into a tutorialist who's, letting you know this is how they found it easy to do, or easier, or what works for them. This gal was so sweet. I'm going to link to her. And I just stumbled across her channel. I had seen other tutorials on it, but I just couldn't grasp it. And I loved that she slowed it down, brought it in really close, which I can't do with my camera, or slow it down. But she brought it in really close, zoomed in, and showed what she did. And then she was so gracious as to say that she understood that it can be so hard to keep rewinding a video and watching a thing over and over again. And sometimes it's just easier to go to the directions. And so she was going to go ahead and write out step by step what to do. I thought, she could have just left it, just keep rewinding the video and watching what I'm doing in slow motion every time you mess up. But she didn't. She, which I love watching her knit, but she actually wrote the steps out. Because she said some people just learn by reading the steps and they don't want to keep hearing what to do. So that's it. And it just automatically, let me see if I can adjust my lighting real quick. Make it so you can see it better. That didn't help. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There. So you can see, and it's got all this fluff going on. And look at how dainty it is. But it's perfect for the brioche stitch, which works 2 stitches at a time, a yarn over and a stitch that you're always knitting. But yeah, that is what I remember. That perfect little ribbing. So sweet. So those are the 3 cast-ons I can show you today. And it was relaxing to do them. Glad I practiced. And I hope you have fun using them with your knitting. And there's a million tutorials out there. There's nothing new under the sun out there, you guys. Absolutely nothing. We're all just so much more common and alike with each other than we think, right? So, thanks for joining me. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe. And thank you. I want to say thank you to the 3 new subscribers I have. I really appreciate you subscribing. I am trying to build to 1,000 so I can put a little thank you button on my channel and make a little bit of an income from everything I'm going to be doing and sharing, which will be plenty more. And I'm just really looking to grow my channel. So I am very appreciative of being here. And let me know what kind of videos you like. And, go ahead and interact with the video and say hello so I can say hello back to you. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.